In fact, World Bank even put in a report it sent out that, let me quote this here, in several ways the economy, now burdened with massive foreign debt, was worse off than at the start of the first SAL being the structural adjustment loan. So we have here World Bank even admitting to their folly in the Jamaica economic crisis. I guess we'll move away from that line because we've got a lot to talk about here. Later on, I mentioned Colonel Sanders, and that's sort of just a quip at the food industry, the fast food industry in particular, and how all our foods are becoming so much more processed. We have animals doing unnatural things like eating essentially themselves in their foods and stuff. They're being fed parts of, like, chickens are being fed chicken. Not good. So this is just a quick little quip at those guys. I mentioned houses being foreclosed. Here, there's the economic crisis going on, the subprime lending crisis, all of these. The fact that credit has gotten so bad and that the credit industry has lost its accountability, and it's people are losing their houses, they're losing their livelihoods because of this credit crisis. And before that, I sort of make note of the rich, and they're pooling their dough. It's like the rich they are making even more money in this economic downturn, and sort of why is that? Well, we sort of raised that question. And then we go on to genocide. Goes on without compromise. Sudan, in Darfur region, there's these genocides going on. There's all this conflict and war in other places. The AIDS epidemic also. They are going on without us doing a whole lot about it. We mention it here and there. You see an article about it, but do you yourself do anything? Have we gotten so caught up in our daily lives that we don't realize that there's so much more going on out there, and so much pain and suffering in the world beyond our shores? And it's unfortunate that we have to deal with this. And later on, I mentioned the Olympic dream, and there's this irony that such games are held in light of this global crisis. All these things are held, and then there's the Olympic Games, and all of a sudden we focus all our sights on this athletic competition, which is great. We get to see people from other countries and stuff, but it doesn't excuse us from forgetting about what else is going on in the world. Immediately following the wrap is a short little section that deals with globalization, among other things. It's a million miles away and a world a mile wide. It's like the world is so large physically, but because of communications and because of transportation technologies today, it has become a lot smaller, sort of this mile wide concept. Moving on, we go to the final verse, which starts out with the sky is not gray. This is a direct reference to Ernest Gaines's work. The Sky is Gray, and which is about racism and segregation in the South, and how we've been moving away from that very, very well. The biggest example of this is the recent election of Barack Obama, which is huge as far as the climax of the civil rights movement and stuff. We move on to the women's suffrage is discussed in there, and with this verse, I wanted to show like a positive light. For all the bad in the world, there's so much bad going on. We could talk about that all day. The rap portion was about that. But here, what we have is sorry about that, I just gotta get this on. We have this other side, this positive light, this positive aspect of the world. There's so many people around the world. I mentioned India, Japan. It doesn't matter where you go, you will find good people. And you just got to remember that for all the bad, there is good. And I sort of wanted to end on that note because we start out with some good positive stuff. We go into sort of, this is the muddy media affecting our perception part. The rap is it'll get you down. But finally, we get to the conclusion, and it's very, very positive. I wanted to end on a positive note because things can happen, peace can be achieved. The world isn't as bad as we see, and I wanted to end with that. So thank you all for putting up with this commentary, and I hope you are more globally aware because of our presentation.